More than half of Americans become overwhelmed and cry while buying a home. Chin up, wipe that tear away, because help may be on the way. Let's dig in. Crazy thing is that number's actually much higher for millennials and Gen Z. They're overwhelmed and cry about 65% of the time. What a weird stat, but that's exactly why I dug into this Zillow study last week. Now let me do this. I'm going to reference this study, which comes from the home buyer's perspective, and then marry that with the lender and realtor perspective. Obviously, realtors and lenders, you are intimately familiar with the stresses of this market. Realtors are making countless offers only to be outbid by 20 or 30 other offers. They do this over and over and over again until the days and the weeks become a scene out of Groundhog's Day. It's certainly maddening for them. Meanwhile, lenders sit idly by having the home buyer fully approved only to see them miss out on home after home after home. And oh, the salt in the wounds as of late, while that's all happening, mortgage rates skyrocketed and thus so did their monthly proposed payment. Hopeless feeling for them as they typically are experiencing this with 10 to 20 other families all at the same time. Yeah, that feeling is compounded by the size of their pipelines. We in the business are all too familiar with this, but what we may forget sometimes is what this Zillow study pointed out: the emotional stress versus the financial stress. They shared a really interesting buyer's perspective that we all know, but sometimes can forget as we close transaction after transaction. Oftentimes, our buyers are envisioning their life in these homes that they're making offers on. They've scouted local schools and started envisioning their children going to these schools. They started to think about the yard and the home and the changes they would make to make it their own. Maybe even met the neighbors. I know I did when I purchased my last home. These kids are talking about their rooms and what color they're going to paint them. They're thinking about the friends that live nearby and the fact that they can ride their bike to their friend's house now. It's a deeply emotional event that only happens a few times in a lifetime. And then what happens, especially as of late? They lose out on the home of their dreams. For realtors and lenders, it's simply on to the next one. But for the families, it can feel like losing a future they've already started planning. That's why the tears and emotions follow. It's really easy to forget this when you're in the business and over the past few years when we're all working at breakneck speeds, but we need to remember this and we need to speak and lead them through this. We need to create content on this. I think that's why this study made me stop in my tracks and listen and watch and really understand it. So much of our content is educational, as it should be, but realtors and lenders, ask yourself, when is the last time you read or listened to a piece of content on the emotions of buying a home? I don't know that I can recall one. It took me back to buying my last home. How easily did I forget I too was in a bidding war, and I wrote a letter to the seller about my family and the fact that we have been waiting and saving for 10 years to save up enough money to try to buy the home of our dreams on a lake. And as a family, we prayed, we held our breath as our emotions ran high just to see if we could get the home of our dreams. Deeply emotional and stressful time, to say the least. I remember first speaking on this topic over a decade ago, and I'm proud to say that we shot a show that was titled Families, Not Files. We worked to correct industry terminology that we closed 10 files last month. No, those were families in those files. And I'm proud to say it actually caught on, and we could actually see industry leaders change the terminology and share wins each month with how many families they helped versus how many files they closed. Here we are again 10 years later with the similar but familiar challenge. While it may be simply on to the next one for realtors and lenders, it's not for home buyers and their families. Let's remember that, and let's speak to this as we guide these families through a brutal home buying process right now. Here's the good news, and I'll close simply with this statement and this graph. It's starting to turn. See that little turn at the top of the graph? It's showing you that more than 1 in 5 home sellers dropped their price last month. It's a signal as to what to come. The tide is changing, my friends. This show is a team share and a team conversation about how we can better serve our clients through this. Play it for your teams, guys. Discuss it and share it on social. And let's all go figure out how we can better serve our clients through this process. See you guys next week.